Now let's have the prayer.
Welcome, Holy Spirit. We are in your presence. Fill us with your power. Live inside of me. Welcome, Holy Spirit. We are in your presence. Fill us with your power. Live inside of me. You're the living water, never drying fountain, comforter and counselor. Take complete control. Welcome, Holy Spirit. We are in your presence. Fill us with your power. Live inside of me. Live inside of me.
Kindly be seated. It's my great honor to invite His Beatitude, Ma George Cardinal Alencherry, the Major Archbishop of the Syro Malabar Church and the Chancellor of PAURASTYA VIDYAPITHAM, to announce in what capacity PAURASTYA VIDYAPITHAM is conferring the Honorary Doctorate on Archbishop Ma Joseph Powathil.
Chancellor of PAURASTYA VIDYAPITHAM, the prestigious Theological Institute of the Syro Malabar Church, capable of awarding graduate, postgraduate and doctoral degrees, I am happy to declare that, according to the power bestowed on PAURASTYA VIDYAPITHAM, this institute is conferring today the Honorary Doctorate in Sacred Theology to Archbishop Mar Joseph Powathil. He has been found worthy to be awarded the degree of Honorary Doctorate by the Congregation for Catholic Education and PAURASTYA VIDYAPITHAM, fulfilling all the criteria fixed by the rules of the same congregation and the norms or the statutes of PAURASTYA VIDYAPITHAM.
Now I call upon His Grace Mar Joseph Perindottam, the Metropolitan Archbishop of Changanasheri and the Vice-Chancellor of PAURASTYA VIDYAPITHAM, to make the official proclamation of the conferral of the Honorary Doctorate to Archbishop Powathil.
PAURASTYA VIDYAPITHAM, the Pontifical Oriental Institute of Religious Studies, Vadavaathoor, Kottayam, under the patronage of His Holiness Pope Francis, by virtue of the faculty granted to it by the Apostolic See of Rome, hereby makes known that, according to the statutes of this institute, and with the Nihil Obstat of the Holy See, Honorary Doctorate is conferred upon Mar Joseph Powathil, the Metropolitan Emeritus of the Archdiocese of Alencherry, in recognition of his scientific contributions in the fields of liturgy, theology, and spirituality of the Eastern churches, and his efforts to promote the heritage of the churches of St. Thomas Christians, in testimony whereof are set the seals of PAURASTYA VIDYAPITHAM and the signatures of the academic authorities of the institute. Vadavaathoor, 15th August 2019.
Now it is time for the Chancellor to sign the degree certificate of the Honorary Doctorate. I invite His Beatitude, Mar George Cardinal Alencherry, to put his signature on the doctoral degree certificate. May I now invite His Eminence Oswald Cardinal Gracias, the Metropolitan Archbishop Bishop of Mumbai and the President of CBCI, to hand over the doctoral degree certificate to Archbishop Mar Joseph Powathil. I also invite Mar Joseph Powathil to receive the degree of Honorary Doctorate. Mar George Cardinal Alencherry, the Chancellor of PAURASTYA VIDYAPITHAM, now put the cap of doctoral honor on the head of Archbishop Mar Joseph Powathil. Now we shall listen to the words of gratitude expressed by Archbishop Mar Joseph Powathil.
I accept this honorary doctorate conferred upon me by the PAURASTYA VIDYAPITHAM. I thank you for this honor given to me.
As we have come to the close of the academic session, let's all stand up for the PAURASTYA VIDYAPITHAM anthem.
നിത്യധർമ്മനീതികൾ ദാർശനികധാരകൾ പൂവിടുന്ന പുണ്യമാ മേവിടുന്ന കേന്ദ്രമേ ഗുരുതെളിച്ച ചാലുകൾ ധരണി തന്റെ വയലുകൾ നൂറുമേനി വിളവിരാ തിരിതെളിച്ചു കാത്തിടാ ദൈവരാജ്യഘോഷണം ജീവിത പ്രഘോഷണം പക്വമായി നടത്തിയിടാ ശക്തി ഞങ്ങൾക്കേകുക ബുദ്ധിയും വിശുദ്ധിയും അറിവേഴുന്ന ഹൃദയവും ധീരമായ ദൃഷ്ടിയും ഇടയനൊത്ത വഴികളും നിത്യവും ഇവർക്കു നൽകി ഉല്ലസിക്ക ഭവനമേ വടവാതൂരിൻ ദീപ്തിയ പൗരസ്ത്യ വിദ്യാപീഠമേ.
Now, as the official ceremony concludes, we proceed to the felicitations. I request all the dignitaries to come on to the stage and occupy their respective seats.
Reverend Dr. Andrews Mekattukunnil, the President of PAURASTYA VIDYAPITHAM, is a true academician of ecclesiastical zeal and academic foresight. The PAURASTYA VIDYAPITHAM, having accomplished a new milestone with the conferral of the Honorary Doctorate, I invite Father Andrews to deliver the welcome address.
Your Beatitude, Mar George, Cardinal Alencherry, the Major Archbishop of Syro Malabar Church and the Chancellor of PAURASTYA VIDYAPITHAM, Your Eminence Oswald, Cardinal Gracias, Archbishop of Mumbai and the President of Catholic Bishops' Conference of India, Your Grace Mar George Kottayam, Apostolic Nuncio of Bangladesh, Your Grace Mar Joseph Powathil, Metropolitan Archbishop Emeritus of Changanasheri and the new Doctor, Your Graces, Your Excellencies, Reverend Monsignori, all distinguished guests, Reverend Fathers, Reverend Sisters, Seminarians, and my dear friends. It is my pleasant privilege to welcome you all to this gracious event in the history of PAURASTYA VIDYAPITHAM. First of its kind, conferring of the degree of Doctor in Theology honoris causa on Archbishop Mar Joseph Powathil. Anyone who is familiar with the history of Second Vatican Council would certainly know Patriarch Maximus IV Saye, the then Patriarch of the Melkite Greek Catholic Church. Archbishop Mar Joseph Powathil reminds us of this Patriarch Maximus IV, who spoke in the council floor forcefully about the need of safeguarding the apostolic identity and the age-old traditions of the Eastern Catholic churches. According to him, we, by our example, must enable other Christian churches to recognize that a union with the See of Peter can be achieved without being compelled to give up orthodoxy or any of the spiritual treasures of the Apostolic and Patristic East. This is exactly what Mar Joseph Powathil stood for and advocated in the Indian Church. Though he did not personally participate in the meetings of Vatican Council, being ordained a priest in the year of the commencement of the Council, Father Joseph Powathil really imbibed its true spirit. Archbishop Powathil popularized Vatican Council's ecclesiology of the communion of the churches, presenting it in inter-ecclesial meetings of the forums like CBCI, FABC, KCBC, etc. He interpreted the council documents according to the hermeneutic of continuity and reform. He was instrumental in the restructuring of the CBCI as the conference of 3 individual churches in India. He has, to his credit, 20 books and hundreds of scientific and well-studied articles in the areas of ecclesiology, liturgy, spirituality, and ecumenism. Holy Father Pope Emeritus Benedict XVI and Archbishop Joseph Powathil are good friends since many decades. During the Adilimena visit in 2010, seeing Archbishop Powathil approaching him, the Holy Father joyfully acclaimed, "Ecco la corona della Chiesa Syro-Malabarica." Here comes the crown of the Syro-Malabar Church. This spontaneous reaction from the Supreme Pontiff best expresses what Archbishop Mar Joseph Powathil really is. He is, in fact, the crown of the Syro-Malabar Church. PAURASTYA VIDYAPITHAM, the only theological faculty directly under the Synod of Syro-Malabar Church, is really glad to honor this crown of the Church with a doctorate degree in theology. PAURASTYA VIDYAPITHAM, being an autonomous faculty approved by the Congregation for Catholic Education, is vested with the authority to confer degrees and doctorates, including honoris causa, like any other university or faculty. It was the syndicate of PAURASTYA VIDYAPITHAM that considered Mar Joseph Powathil as a suitable candidate for Honorary Doctorate in Theology. Our Major Archbishop, who is also the Chancellor of PAURASTYA VIDYAPITHAM, welcomed the proposal and forwarded it to the Holy See. Archbishop Mar Joseph Powathil, a dynamic presence in the Indian Church and society for half a century, always has a sharp mind and alert eyes on everything that happens around us. It need not be matters related to faith alone, but anything that concerns the well-being of the humankind. Fearlessly, he addresses any contemporary issue like secularism, communism, fundamentalism, and atheism. Whenever the constitutional rights of any citizen, especially of the weaker section of the population like Dalits, women, and minority groups are in danger, he is the first person to speak for their legitimate rights. In all his interventions, he proved himself true to his motto, ministry in truth and charity. He was the mastermind behind the Oriental Study Forum, Missionary Orientation Center, Amala Theological College, and Marthoma Vidya Niketan, offering the consecrated women and lay faithful opportunities for higher studies in theological subjects. Publications like Dukrana and Christian Orient are his initiatives. He founded the Eastern Monastic Daira of Marthoma Sahodarigal, who, apart from their life witness, do a great service in translating and publishing many of our ancient liturgical texts. For Mar Joseph Powathil, to be ecclesial means to be ecumenical. He is open and sensitive to other churches and keeps a warm, friendly relationship with them all. He succeeded in fostering dialogue among the Christian churches in Kerala and in forming the Nilakal Ecumenical Trust and Inter-Church Council for Education. A veteran in the field of education, he was instrumental in the revision of the education policy of the Kerala state. As the chairman of the Central Liturgical Commission of Syro Malabar Church, he took the lead in the restoration of the Holy Kurbana, which was inaugurated by Saint Pope John Paul II in 1986. This he did always remaining loyal to the magisterium of the Catholic Church, obeying faithfully the directives of the Holy See. The presence of these distinguished dignitaries, either on dais or in our midst, is sufficient proof for Mar Powathil's acceptance in the ecclesiastical, academic, and social circles. His Beatitude Mar George Cardinal Alencherry, the Major Archbishop of the Syro Malabar Church, always has great appreciation for the selfless services Mar Joseph Powathil has rendered to the Church and society. Cordial welcome, your Beatitude. His Eminence Oswald Cardinal Gracias, the Archbishop of Mumbai and the President of Catholic Bishops' Conference of India, has travelled a long way to join Mar Joseph Powathil on this occasion of great joy. He in fact reached yesterday itself in order to wish Mar Powathil on his 90th birthday. They were close collaborators in many of the standing committees of CBCI. Being the President of CBCI, Your Eminence, you present before us the whole of Catholic hierarchy in India. Hearty welcome, Your Eminence. His Grace Mar George Kocheri, the Apostolic Nuncio to Bangladesh, is a good and intimate friend of Mar Joseph Powathil. Hearty welcome, Your Grace. His Grace Mar Joseph Perundotam, Metropolitan Archbishop of Changrasheri and the Vice-Chancellor of PAURASTYA VIDYAPITHAM, moving in the footsteps of his immediate predecessor, has great love towards Archbishop Powathil. Welcome, sincere welcome, Your Grace. Mar Joseph Powathil is a good friend of all the Christian churches and their leaders in Kerala. We welcome very cordially Your Grace Thomas Mar Timotheos, the Secretary of the Holy Synod of the Malankara Jacobite Syrian Christian Church. Cordial welcome to His Grace Yohanan Mar Dioscoros, Secretary, Holy Synod of the Malankara Orthodox Church. He is yet to come. Hearty welcome to His Grace Mar Joseph Barnabas, Metropolitan of Thiruvananthapuram, Malankara Marthoma Syrian Church. Cordial welcome also to Very Reverend Monsignor Cheriyan Thajuman, the Vicar General of the Archdiocese of Tiruvalla, who represents not only the Archdiocese of Tiruvalla, but the whole of Syro Malankara Church. Welcome, Monsignor. Mar Joseph Powathil is friendly not only with the ecclesiastical leaders, but secular and political as well. Shri Oommen Chandy MLA, the former Chief Minister of Kerala, is a beloved student of our Archbishop. He represents all the former students of Mar Powathil. Hearty welcome, Shri. Mahatma Gandhi University at Kottayam, the largest of all 7 universities in Kerala, and PAURASTYA VIDYAPITHAM were inaugurated on the same day, that is 26th October 1983, and were inaugurated by the same person, Gyani Sail Singh, the then President of India. Reminding us of this close relationship, Professor Dr. Sabu Thomas, the Vice-Chancellor of Mahatma Gandhi University, is with us. Cordial welcome, Dr. Sabu. Mar Joseph Powathil is a good friend of Deepika Daily. Representing the Deepika, we have Father Bobby Alex. Welcome, Bobby Acha. Reverend Dr. Joy Aini Adan, Director of St. Thomas Apostolic Seminary, Vadavaathoor, is a great admirer of Archbishop Powathil. He took personal interest in making this day so beautiful. Welcome, Joyicha. Mar Joseph Powathil took great initiative in giving theological education and ecclesial formation for lay faithful. Professor P.C. Aniyan Kuny best represents thousands of lay people who have grown through Marthoma Vidya Niketan. Sincere welcome to Professor P.C. Aninguny, who is also a Senate member of Paurashtya Vidyapeetham. Religious sisters in the Archdiocese of Changanasheri received great inspiration and motivation for theological studies and research here at Paurashtya Vidyapeetham or in Rome under the patronage of Mar Joseph Powathil. Reverend Sister Alfonsa Thotungal, S.H., the Superior General of Sacred Heart Congregation, will speak to us on behalf of all the religious sisters gathered here. Welcome, Sister Alfonsa. Monsignor Gabriel Quique, professor from Catholic University Louvain, Belgium, and the rector of the Holy Spirit College there, is also with us. Welcome, Professor Gabriel. We cordially welcome the archbishops and bishops among us. His Grace Mar George Valimatum had promised, if I don't see him, His Excellency Mar Joseph Pallikapparambil, who celebrates the 45th anniversary of his Episcopal consecration today on August 15th, is with us. Welcome. I see before us with us His Excellency Mar Matthew Arakil, Mar Joseph Kalarangat, Joseph Frambikil, and many other bishops had promised. Probably they are still on the way. Therefore, I welcome all your excellencies. His Excellency Mar Thomas Tarayil, Jos Pulikil, welcome, dear Pida. A special word of welcome to Reverend Dr. Sunny Kokravali S.J., the Pontifical Delegate from the Orient Institute, Rome. There are many distinguished guests among us. I do not dare to name them lest I forget someone's name. Welcome you all, the beloved distinguished guests. Special welcome to Dr. John Powathil, Archbishop's own brother, and his nephew Tony Powathil, and all the family members. Hearty welcome to all the teaching staff of Paurashtya Vidyapeetham, St. Thomas Apostolic Seminary, and Paurashtya Vidyaniketan MOC, former rectors and presidents, the professors of Paurashtya Vidyapeetham and Seminary, president of Pontifical Institute Alway, research and PG students, all other students including lay faithful of Paurashtya Vidyapeetham and MOC, all the well-wishers of Mar Joseph Powathil, Reverend Fathers, sisters, my dear friends, hearty welcome. I conclude with a request. May I humbly request all the honorable speakers of the day to stick on to time allotted to you so that we may conclude the meeting as planned at 4 p.m. since His Eminence Oswald Cardinal Gracias and His Beatitude Mar George Cardinal Alencherry, they have to leave at 4 o'clock. Addressing all speakers by name will take away much time. My suggestion to the honorable speakers is to avoid calling on the names of all on dais when you start your speech. Thank you.
Thank you, Father, for your warm words of welcome. Now we have His Beatitude, Mar George Cardinal Alencherry, the Major Archbishop of Syro Malabar Church and the Chancellor of Paurashtya Vidyapeetham amidst us. His Beatitude hardly needs any introduction. Your Beatitude have made all of us blissful with your loving presence. I cordially invite your Beatitude, Cardinal George Alencherry, to felicitate Archbishop Mar Joseph Powathil.
I shall be the first one who obey the welcome speaker, that I will not address each one by name. But as an exception, Your Eminence, Cardinal Oswald Gracias, Archbishop Mar Joseph Powathil, all the dignitaries on the dais, dear Reverend Bishops, Reverend Fathers, Reverend Deacons, Sisters, seminarians, staff of our seminary and the Paurashtya Vidyapeetham, and other invited guests, to all of you, my greetings of the day. Archbishop Joseph Powathil, as a person, stands beyond all descriptions. A bishop is the principal pastor in an eparchy or diocese. Among such principal pastors, Archbishop Powathil is an exceptional figure. In the eparchy of Kanyirapalli, he proved it and became almost a model for bishops who begin as pastor of a new eparchy. There are many pastoral fields in which Archbishop Powathil stands unique. In liturgy, theology, spirituality, and ecumenism of the Eastern churches, he has given unique contributions, as it is mentioned in today's doctoral degree certificate. He is the one who carried the most the restoration and renewal of the Syro-Malabar liturgy according to the instructions of the documents of Council Vatican II. He took real efforts to master the documents of Council Vatican II and to put their teachings into practice both in his eparchy and in the Syro-Malabar Church in general. For the fact that the Syro-Malabar Church has now its liturgy in a rather good shape, we owe very much to Archbishop Joseph Powathil. So also, he took the leadership in establishing the legitimate rights and obligations the Syro-Malabar Church has as an Oriental church in India. As a natural development of the vision he propagated and the strenuous efforts of the Bishops' Synod of the Syro-Malabar Church, we have now become a sui juris church with jurisdictional powers in pastoral and evangelization work all over India. As an intellectual by nature and formation, Archbishop Powathil takes keen interest in reading without ceasing the documents of the Church, the books and journals of theology, and even books of secular knowledge that befits his ministry. Ever since his priestly ordination, Archbishop Powathil is a lover of the Church. The Church is his first love. To serve the Church, he finds all the ways and means by learning, consultation, dialogue, and relationships. All his collaborators and pastoral acquaintances in India and abroad and in the Vatican are his friends. He does not make friendship for friendship's sake, but for the good of the Church and the society. Although Archbishop Powathil is considered a person of strict adherence to his own doctrinal positions, he has proved himself successful in many a dialogue session. This is the reason why I was prompted to invite His Eminence Cardinal Oswald Gracias to hand over this certificate of Honorary Doctorate to Archbishop Joseph Powathil. Although there are certain matters in which they differ in view, they are thick friends in conferences and meetings of the Church. Cardinal Oswald Gracias, as you know, has occupied at the same time the offices of the President of FABC, the President of CBCI, the President of CCBI, and also the President of the Western Region and Catholic Bishops' Council. It was at this time that Holy Father Pope Francis nominated him also one of his 9 councillors. He continues to hold all these offices except the presidentship of FABC. Cardinal Oswald is an expert in dialogue, and very often he wins over those dialogue partners who have even opposing views. Today we are fortunate to have him for this auspicious function. Archbishop Joseph Powathil has taken a keen interest in the field of education, and he has defended strongly the minority rights of the Christians in conducting educational institutions and those of health care and social service. For many of the struggles that the community took in this field, Archbishop Powathil was taking a leading role. His own student, as was mentioned here, Shri Oommen Chandy, our former chief minister, had also certain tough times with our Archbishop in the field of education. Thanks to his unique contribution in ecumenism, all the Eastern churches in India respect him for his leadership and contributions. The important role he played in establishing the Nilakal ecumenical movement is worth mentioning. Finally, I would like to add the key role Archbishop Powathil played for the growth of PAURASTYA VIDYAPITHAM in this St. Thomas Apostolic Seminary, and also in the formation of seminarians here. It is really a thoughtful and wise decision that the Institute has taken to honor Archbishop Mar Joseph Powathil with a doctorate in sacred theology. I render a word of thanks to Reverend Father Andrews Mekattukunnel, who initiated this praiseworthy event in the history of this institute. I wish Archbishop Joseph Powathil all my best wishes and prayers on the 90th birthday, which we celebrated yesterday, and felicitate him on the Navadi gift of Honorary Doctorate in Theology from PAURASTYA VIDYAPITHAM, Vadavaathoor. Your Grace, may the Lord grant you good health, peace and happiness in the remaining years of your life. Thanking you one and all, I conclude. May God bless you all. I request all the subsequent leaders to imitate my example of short speeches.
I thank your beatitude for your profound words. The very presence of His Eminence, Cardinal Oswald Gracias, adds a dual ecclesiastical honor to this ceremony. That is, from the milieu of the Indian Catholic hierarchy, as well as the Universal Catholic Church. As the President of CBCI, the voice of His Eminence resounds as the opinion of the Indian Church. With utmost reverence, I invite Your Eminence for the felicitation.
Thank you so very much. I'll imitate His Eminence. Your Beatitude, Cardinal Alencherry, Your Grace, Archbishop Powathil, my dear very distinguished friends on the dais and friends over here in the congregation. It is personally a day of great joy for me to be associated with this function for the conferral of the doctorate on Mar Joseph Powathil. It's a festive occasion because a most worthy candidate is achieving recognition. The conferral of this doctorate, I think, brings double glory. Glory evidently to the recipient, but because of the illustriousness of the candidate who's receiving the doctorate, it brings glory also to the institute. History is being written today because the Honorary Doctorate is being conferred for the very first time by the Pontifical Oriental Institute of Religious Studies, PAURASTYA VIDYAPITHAM. Archbishop Powathil, his specialization is in economics, and he did this in many reputed institutes, including Oxford. I do not know what his superiors had in mind when he was sent for specialization in economics. Was there a special need to put the finances of some institute in order? Was it a plan that he would assist the state authorities in good financial management? We don't know. But he surely put all this finances in order, but much else besides. I have known Archbishop Powathil very well from the very first years as a bishop. As his beatitude said, we had opposing views on some things, but we were very good friends. God has gifted him with many qualities of mind and heart, and he used them all for the service of the people and for the glory of God. Archbishop Powathil is a brilliant thinker, an efficient administrator, a good organizer, an inspiring leader, above all, a dedicated pastor. I have seen all this, having observed him from close quarters at the CBCI, in several commissions of the Indian Church, and also in many of my own personal discussions with him. God gave him many qualities. He was totally dedicated to the people, totally loyal to the magisterium of the church, and tried to get everybody else also to fall in line. He took a special interest in the educational apostle of the church. He tried to get all our institutions to excel, but also encourage them to fulfill this ministry by reaching out to all, especially the marginalized. He was the champion of the church's right in the educational field. Age, little difficulty in mobility, did not deter him from taking the leadership in arguing for the community in all important issues that came for the church in Kerala and in India. I can say without hesitation that all the bishops of the CBCI held him and hold him in very high respect. When he made an intervention at our meetings, all listened. He did not intervene very often. When he did, it was a studied opinion given by someone who not only had experience, but also had the gift of foresight, insight, and farsight. One who combined wisdom with prudence. One who was a dedicated disciple of the Lord, but also who loved the country passionately. And so, he fully deserved this honor. And whenever we listened to him, we not only listened to him, but his opinions were taken into consideration in all the decisions that the CBCI made. I, for one, miss the presence of Archbishop Powathil after his resignation as Archbishop of Alencherry was accepted. On this occasion, I would like to thank God for the gift of our dear Archbishop to the Church in India. I would like to assure him of our constant affection and appreciation. I would like to pray to God to give him good health of mind and body, to continue giving us the gentle advice that he always gives. Thank you, my Dr. Joseph Powathil. Continue your good work for many years more. May God bless you and all your dear ones with his presence. And I almost forgot. Happy birthday for yesterday, Archbishop Powathil, and
I thank Your Eminence for your valuable words. We are having a great opportunity to listen to the words of His Grace Ma George Kocheri, the Apostolic Nuncio to Bangladesh, who has known Ma Joseph Powathil for a long time. Over to Your Grace.
Your Grace, Dr. Mar Joseph Powathil, Your Beatitude, Your Eminence, and all the distinguished personalities up and down, and to you all, dear invited guests. I have made various reasons to be proud and to be here to participate in the felicitation gathering. First of all, I am proud to tell you, I am the first bishop from this institute, the St. Thomas Seminary. After my Episcopal ordination, we had so many other bishops, but I was the fortunate and the lucky one to be the first bishop, Archbishop of this major seminary. Secondly, I am the first secretary of Archbishop Powathil. And so I am very proud on this conferral of the doctorate on Archbishop Powathil, because this doctorate is a recognition and assessment of his knowledge, his thinking, his opinion on church matters, as well as various other socio-religious aspects. So many books that he has written, numerous articles that he has produced, all attest the reason for this doctorate. So I am pretty sure in the near future, there will be a school that studies the thinking and thought of Archbishop Powathil in future. There may be a school coming up in one of the institutions. So that is my hope, and it may come up. Another thing which I would like to recall, Vatican Radio used to transmit news in Malayalam on Wednesdays and Saturdays, only news. In 1972, when February 13, Archbishop Powathil's consecration, Episcopal consecration was held in Vatican. That was the first Malayalam live transmission was done, that was this. So that claim goes to Archbishop Powathil for the first Malayalam transmission from Vatican Radio. And also I was the fortunate man to make that transmission. So I wish you every success. I say in the future, in silence, you may lead and encourage the growth of Syro Malabar Church. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Grace, for the words of appreciation. We are honored to have the presence of His Grace, Archbishop Mar Joseph Perunthottam, the Vice-Chancellor of PAURASTYA VIDYAPITHAM. On behalf of all gathered here, I invite His Grace, Archbishop Mar Joseph Perunthottam, to congratulate Archbishop Mar Joseph Powathil.
Your Beatitude, Your Eminence, all the distinguished persons, and all other participants. It is an occasion of great joy and deep appreciation that Archbishop Joseph Powathil is conferred upon Honorary Doctorate by PAURASTYA VIDYAPITHAM. He has just completed 89 years and entered into his 90. My hearty congratulations and prayerful best wishes to my illustrious predecessor, Dr. Mar Joseph Powathil. It is a revered recognition of the outstanding contributions of Archbishop Powathil in ecclesiastical sciences, especially in the fields of Eastern theology, ecclesiology, liturgy, and ecumenism. He has always drawn inspiration from the magisterial teachings of the Church, especially from the Second Vatican Council. Archbishop Powathil is a freedom fighter, an untiring fighter of religious freedom, freedom of education, of minority rights. He is a man of the Church who thinks with the Church, lives with the Church, and is heartily involved in the mission of the Church. He has been in the forefront in the endeavors of restoring and protecting the identity and faith tradition of the Syro Malabar Church to be an authentic Oriental Church in the Catholic Communion. Surely, he has had to undergo much suffering, mental agony, and many a time all alone for the cause of the Church. But they were not fruitless. The interventions of Archbishop Powathil in the Church and society were thought-provoking, challenging, and have greatly influenced the society. He is clear, logical, authentic, and fruitful and faithful to what he says, writes, and teaches as a committed servant of the Church. Beloved Archbishop Powathil, the PAURASTYA VIDYAPITHAM and I, as your humble successor, feel proud of you for your erudite scholarship in ecclesiastical sciences, prophetic insights in the various issues in the Church and society, uncontaminated leadership, and saintly life witness. With a grateful heart, I wish you the best and pray God's abundant blessings upon you for a peaceful and graceful future. Thank you.
I thank your grace for your gracious words. Now I invite His Grace Thomas More Timotheus, Secretary to the Holy Synod of the Malankara Jacobite Syrian Christian Church, to felicitate Archbishop Mar Joseph Powathil. Let us hear His Grace.
Your Grace, your Beatitude, and all eminences gathered here, and all my listeners. I'm extremely happy to be part of this gathering. I have had the occasion to meet Mar Powathil closely in 1986 during the Vienna consultations. That time I was a student at the University of Göttingen. I came down from Göttingen to Vienna for that consultation. I remember the intelligence and erudition that Mar Powathil showed in his interventions, in his contributions, as well as suggestions in that conference. Shakespeare said, "Sweet are the uses of adversity, which, like a toad ugly and venomous, yet wears on its head a jewel." Mar Powathil had gone through many tribulations, I'm sure. You are all aware of that much more than me. Based on the Second Vatican, he wanted to go to the quelle, the origins of the Church, and in that he made outstanding contributions. I think taking all his contributions in the field of education, social service, pastoral administration, more than all that, his desire to go to the roots of the church, and that has given great glory to the church, Syro Malabar Church, I am sure. In the Eastern tradition, salvation is rather interpreted as economy of salvation. Powathil was a student of economics, he was a professor of economics. And I think the economy of salvation he has realized through his ministry, through the manifold contributions he has made in education, in ecclesiology, in theology, as well as in many other fields. I don't want to prolong. I can go on saying great things about Powathil. I have read many of his articles, some of his books. On this occasion, I wish this eminent Archbishop, who served the church and society in a marvelous manner, all the best on behalf of my church. I pay all respects to him as well as to the Syro Malabar Church. Thank you.
I thank Your Grace for your beautiful words. Next, with much honor, I would like to invite His Grace Mar Joseph Mar Barnabas, Metropolitan of Thiruvananthapuram, Malankara Mar Thomas Syrian Church, for the felicitation.
ത്രിയേക ദൈവത്തിന് സ്തുതി. മാർത്തോമ മെത്രാപ്പൊലീത്ത ഡോക്ടർ ജോസഫ് മാർത്തോമ തിരുമേനിയുടെ പേരിലും സഭയുടെ പേരിലും 90-ാം വയസ്സിലേക്ക് പ്രവേശിക്കുന്ന പൗവത്തിൽ പിതാവിന് എല്ലാ ആശംസകളും പ്രാർത്ഥനകളും അറിയിക്കട്ടെ. ഇന്ന് അദ്ദേഹത്തിന് ലഭിച്ച ഈ വലിയ നിയോഗം നേരത്തെ ലഭിക്കേണ്ടതായിരുന്നു എന്നാണ് എൻ്റെ ഒരു ചിന്ത. എന്നാലും അദ്ദേഹത്തിന് സഭ ഈ പൗരസ്ത്യ പീഠം പ്രകാരം ഒരു അവാർഡ് കൊടുത്തതിലും അതിലേക്ക് നിയോഗിച്ചതിലും അദ്ദേഹത്തെ ഓർത്ത് ഞാൻ ദൈവത്തിന് സ്തോത്രം ചെയ്യുന്നു. ദിസ് ഇസ് ആൻ ഇറ ഓഫ് മോഡൽസ്. പിതാക്കന്മാർക്കൊരു മോഡൽ ഉണ്ടാകുമോ, മെത്രാന്മാർക്കൊരു മോഡൽ ഉണ്ടാകുമോ? ഞങ്ങൾക്കൊരു ചിന്ത, പൗവത്തിൽ പിതാവിനെ പോലെ ആയിത്തീരാൻ പറ്റുമോ? ദൈവമേ, അങ്ങനെയാണ്. താഴ്മ, വിനയം, പാണ്ഡിത്യം, ഇതെല്ലാം ഒരു പിതാവിൽ നിന്ന് ഞങ്ങൾ പ്രതീക്ഷിക്കുന്നതാണ്. വിദ്യാഭ്യാസവും പാണ്ഡിത്യവും ഇല്ലിമുള പോലെയാണെന്ന് പറയും. വളരും തോറും വളയുക. പൗവത്തിൽ പിതാവിന് സ്വതവേ ഒരു വളവുണ്ട്. അദ്ദേഹത്തിൽ നിന്ന് നമുക്ക് ലഭിക്കുന്ന ഈ നല്ല അനുഗ്രഹീതമായ അനുഭവങ്ങൾ ഞങ്ങൾക്ക് പ്രാവർത്തികമാക്കുവാൻ ദൈവമേ തുണയ്ക്കണമേ എന്ന് ഞങ്ങൾ പ്രാർത്ഥിക്കുന്നു. Pontiff means the one who builds bridges. പൗവത്തിൽ പിതാവ് എല്ലാ സ്ഥലങ്ങളിലേക്കും പാലം പണിയുന്നയാളാണ്. സഭകളിലേക്ക്, സമൂഹങ്ങളിലേക്ക്, ദേശങ്ങളിലേക്ക്, വ്യത്യസ്ത അനുഭവങ്ങളിലേക്ക്, വിവിധ മേഖലകളിലേക്ക്. അതുകൊണ്ട് അദ്ദേഹം തീർച്ചയായും ഞങ്ങൾക്കൊരു പൊന്തിഫ് തന്നെയാണ്. ശ്രേഷ്ഠന്മാരായ മുൻഗാമികളെപ്പോലെ, കാവുകാട്ട് തിരുമേനിയെപ്പോലെയും പടിയറ പിതാവിനെ പോലെയും അനുഗ്രഹീതമായ നേതൃത്വം ചങ്ങനാശ്ശേരി രൂപതയ്ക്കും അല്ല സുറിയാനി സഭയ്ക്ക് മുഴുവൻ നൽകിക്കൊടുക്കാൻ അദ്ദേഹത്തിന് ദൈവം സഹായിച്ചു. കുറച്ച് നാളുകൾക്ക് മുമ്പ് ബിഷപ്സ് ട്രയോ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞൊരു കാലമുണ്ടായിരുന്നു. അലക്സാണ്ടർ മാർത്തോമ, മാത്യൂസ് ദ്വിതീയൻ കാതോലിക്ക ബാവ തിരുമേനി, പൗവത്തിൽ പിതാവ്, അവർ 3 പേരും ചേർന്ന് വൈശിഷ്ട്യമാർന്ന ഒരു അനുഭവ സമ്പത്തുണ്ടായിരുന്നു. അലക്സാണ്ടർ മാർത്തോമ പറയുമായിരുന്നു, ഒരു വിശുദ്ധ കുർബാനയുടെ മധ്യത്തിൽ പൗവത്തിൽ പിതാവിനെയും മാത്യൂസ് ദ്വിതീയൻ ബാവായും ഓർക്കാതെ ഒരു കുർബാന ചൊല്ലിയിട്ടില്ല. പിൻഗാമികളായ ഞങ്ങൾക്കത് അത്ഭുതകരമായ അനുഭവമാണ്. ഞങ്ങളും അത് പ്രാവർത്തികമാക്കാൻ നോക്കുന്നു. തുപദേനയിൽ പേരില്ലെങ്കിലും പേരെഴുതി ചേർത്ത് ഈ പിതാക്കന്മാരെ ഓർക്കുവാൻ നല്ല മാതൃകകൾ അവർ ഞങ്ങൾക്ക് കാണിച്ചു തന്നു. സാധാരണ പറയാറുണ്ട്, ചർച്ച് ഈസ് ദി ഓൺലി ഇൻസ്റ്റിറ്റ്യൂഷൻ വിച്ച് സ്റ്റാൻഡ്സ് ഫോർ ഇറ്റ്സ് നോൺ മെമ്പേഴ്സ്. സമൂഹത്തിൽപ്പെടാത്ത ആളുകളെ, ബന്ധത്തിൽപ്പെടാത്തവരെ ചേർത്ത് നിർത്താൻ തക്കണം സഭയ്ക്ക് കഴിയണം. അഭിയെന്ന പിതാവ് ഞങ്ങൾക്ക് അതിനൊക്കെ മാതൃകയായിരിക്കുന്നു. കേരളത്തിലെ സഭകൾക്കെല്ലാം പ്രതിസന്ധിയുടെ ഒരു കാലമാണ്. ഒന്നല്ലാതെ ഒന്നൊഴികെ എല്ലാവർക്കും പ്രതിസന്ധിയുണ്ട്. തളർന്നു പോകാതെ പിടിച്ചു നിൽപ്പാൻ നല്ല സഭാ നേതൃത്വവും കരുത്തുള്ള നേതൃത്വവും നമുക്ക് ആവശ്യമാണ്. വന്യ തിരുമേനിയെ ഓർത്ത് ഞങ്ങൾ ദൈവത്തിന് സ്തോത്രം ചെയ്യുന്നു. നമുക്കൊന്നിച്ച് പ്രാർത്ഥിക്കാം. ഒന്നിച്ച് പ്രവർത്തിക്കാം. അനുഗ്രഹീതമായ ഒരു കാലം ദൈവം നമുക്ക് തരട്ടെ. എല്ലാ നന്മകളും പിതാവിന് ആശംസിക്കുന്നു. ഗോഡ് ബ്ലെസ് അസ്.
Thank you, Your Grace. I would like to call upon Very Reverend Monsignor Cheriyan Thalavan, the Vicar General of Malankara Archdiocese of Tiruvalla, for the felicitation.
The Father and Head of the Syro Malabar Catholic Church, Your Beatitude, Mar George Cardinal Alencherry, Your Eminence Oswald Cardinal Gracias, Your Gracias, Your Excellencies, Reverend Fathers, Reverend Sisters, distinguished guests, and my dear friends. It is a matter of great pride and pleasure for me to be here today representing Syro Malankara Catholic Church to felicitate Mar Joseph Powathil on being conferred the degree of Doctor of Theology by this great institution, Orient Vidyapitham. And I thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity. I have been an admirer of Father Joseph Powathil right from my days in the college, where he had been a professor. My admiration for him only grew to a sort of adulation as years passed by, while he took up more and more responsibilities and proved his mettle as a bishop and then as an archbishop, to whom the entire Christian community looked upon too. It is altogether fitting and proper that the secular society of the land as well as the Christian community here honor this great soul in an appropriate way. However, I sincerely feel that it is not possible for any PhD degrees to really match this 90-year-old human form of greatness. The innumerable great offices he had held, the substantial contributions he had made to the field of education, the efficacy of development societies he founded both in the lofty hills of Malabar and amidst the wavy waters of Kottayam, along with the developmental schemes he introduced on the level lands of Changanasheri, bear ample testimony to a greatness that cannot be measured in degrees academically or otherwise. His love and care for the Syro Malankara Catholic Church and her manifold missionary activities and endeavors, his care and concern for the marginalized, especially the mentally challenged and the handicapped, his love for the youth, his unfettered zeal for keeping up the Syro Malabar identity, and his enthusiasm in the ecumenical movements and the church fellowship with followers of other religions, and above all, his dedication and devotion to his primary duty of pastoral work are loud and forceful enough testaments to an unfathomable greatness that cannot be confined to mere university degrees. Dear Powathil Pidave, our ability to honor you is very much limited because you have really outgrown our petty standards. The only honor worthwhile to you is an increased endeavor on our part in pursuing your fearless footsteps in the wondrous ways you have trod. May the Almighty keep your grace hale and hearty for years to come, to be an inspiration for us and for generations to come. Thank you all.
Thank you, Reverend Father, for your valuable words. We are indeed privileged to have an eminent person amidst us. He is none other than our former Chief Minister, Shri Oommen Chandy, the former student of Archbishop Mar Joseph Powathil. On behalf of all gathered here, I invite you, sir, to felicitate your teacher.
സ്റ്റേജിലും സദസ്സിലുമുള്ള
വിശിഷ്ട അതിഥികളെ, സഹോദരി സഹോദരന്മാരെ, എന്നെ സംബന്ധിച്ചിടത്തോളം ഇതൊരു അഭിമാന മുഹൂർത്തമാണ്. ഞാൻ സ്നേഹിക്കുന്ന, ബഹുമാനിക്കുന്ന എൻ്റെ അധ്യാപകൻ നവതി ആഘോഷിക്കുന്ന അവസരത്തിൽ ഒരു വലിയ അംഗീകാരം സമൂഹം നൽകുന്ന, സഭ നൽകുന്ന വലിയൊരു അംഗീകാരം ലഭിച്ചതിൽ വളരെയേറെ സന്തോഷവും അഭിമാനവുമുണ്ട്. ഇവിടെ പറഞ്ഞതിൽ ഒരു തെറ്റ് മാത്രമേ ഉള്ളൂ. പൂർവ്വ വിദ്യാർത്ഥികളെ മുഴുവൻ പ്രതിനിധീകരിച്ചുകൊണ്ട് ഞാൻ പങ്കെടുക്കുന്നു എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞത്, ഈ സ്റ്റേജിൽ ഈ പ്രസംഗകരിൽ തന്നെ ഞങ്ങൾ 3 പൂർവ്വ വിദ്യാർത്ഥികളുണ്ട്. അഭിവന്ദനായ കർദിനാൾ ആലഞ്ചേരി തിരുമേനി, അഭിവന്യനായ കൊച്ചേരി തിരുമേനി, ഞങ്ങൾ 3 പേരും തിരുമേനിയുടെ പൂർവ്വ വിദ്യാർത്ഥികളാണ്. അതും ഒരേ കാലഘട്ടത്തിൽ പൂർവ്വ വിദ്യാർത്ഥികളായിരുന്നിട്ടുണ്ട്. ഞങ്ങൾ പഠിക്കുന്ന കാലത്ത് അധ്യാപകരെ പരസ്യമായി ധിക്കരിക്കുന്ന ഒരു കാലഘട്ടമായിരുന്നില്ല. അധ്യാപകരെ ബഹുമാനിക്കുന്ന, വളരെ ആദരവോടെ കാണുന്ന ഒരു കാലഘട്ടം. പക്ഷെ അതിന് 2 കാരണങ്ങൾ. ചില അധ്യാപകരെ ഭയപ്പെട്ടിട്ടാണ് അനുസരിക്കുന്നത്. മറ്റൊരു വിഭാഗം അധ്യാപകരെ അവരുടെ പെരുമാറ്റത്തിലൂടെ അറിവ് തരുന്നതോടൊപ്പം സ്നേഹവും തരുന്ന, ഹൃദയം കൊണ്ട് സ്നേഹിക്കുന്ന ആ ഒരു ഹൃദയബന്ധം അധ്യാപകരുമായിട്ട് ഉള്ള, അതിലെ 2ാമത്തെ വിഭാഗത്തിൽപ്പെട്ടതാണ് പൗവത്തി പിതാവ്. ഇതെൻ്റെ മാത്രം അഭിപ്രായമല്ല. അവിടെ എല്ലാ വർഷവും ഞങ്ങൾ പൂർവ്വ വിദ്യാർത്ഥികൾ വർഷത്തിലൊരിക്കലെങ്കിലും കൂടും. അന്ന് പങ്കുവെക്കുന്ന വികാരമാണ്. SP കോളേജിലെ ഓൾഡ് സ്റ്റുഡൻ്റ് എന്ന് പറയുക, പൗവത്തി പിതാവിൻ്റെ ശിഷ്യൻ എന്ന് പറയുക എന്നുള്ളത് എല്ലാവരും അഭിമാനത്തോടു കൂടിയാണ് പറയുന്നത് എന്ന് പറയാൻ ഞാൻ ഈ അവസരം വിനിയോഗിക്കുക. ഇന്ന് തിരുമേനിയെ ഒരു പിടിവാശിക്കാരെന്ന് കാണുന്നവർ ഉണ്ട്. ഒരിക്കലും ശരിയല്ല എന്നുള്ളതാണ്. തിരുമേനിയുമായി പല കാര്യങ്ങളും ചർച്ച ചെയ്ത് മനസ്സിലാക്കിയിട്ടുള്ള ഒരാളെന്നുള്ള നിലയിൽ എൻ്റെ അഭിപ്രായം. അദ്ദേഹം എടുക്കുന്ന തീരുമാനങ്ങൾ കർക്കശമാണ്, അതിൽ ഉറച്ചു നിൽക്കും. പക്ഷെ അത് പിടിവാശിയല്ല, അത് മനസ്സാക്ഷിയുടെ ഒരു ഉറപ്പാണ്. തിരുമേനി ഞാൻ പല കാര്യങ്ങളും സംസാരിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ട്, അഭിപ്രായ വ്യത്യാസങ്ങളുള്ള കാര്യങ്ങൾ സംസാരിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ട്. തിരുമേനി വിശ്വസിക്കുന്നു മനസ്സാക്ഷിക്കെതിരായി ഒരു നിലപാടെടുക്കുന്നതാണ് തെറ്റ് എന്നുള്ള ഒരു സമീപനം. തിരുമേനി ആ വിദ്യാഭ്യാസ രംഗത്ത്, സാമൂഹ്യ രംഗത്തെ പുരോഗതി, ഇതിനൊക്കെ വേണ്ടി എടുത്തിട്ടുള്ള ധീരമായിട്ടുള്ള നിലപാട്, അത് സഭ മാത്രമല്ല സമൂഹമാകെ അതിനെ വളരെ ആദരവോടുകൂടിയാണ് ഉറ്റുനോക്കിയിട്ടുള്ളത്. തിരുമേനിക്ക് എല്ലാവിധ ഭാവുകങ്ങളും നന്മയും നേരാൻ ഞാൻ ഈ അവസരം വിനിയോഗിക്കുന്നു. നമസ്കാരം. ജയ് ഹിന്ദ്.
Thank you, sir. We are having a great opportunity to listen to the words of Dr. Sabu Thomas, the esteemed Vice-Chancellor of Mahatma Gandhi University. I invite you, sir, for the felicitation.
His Beatitude, Cardinal Alencherry, His Eminence Oswald Cardinal Gracias, His Grace Archbishop Dr. Joseph Powathil, all dignitaries in the dais, dear bishops, fathers, sisters and brothers. On behalf of Mahatma Gandhi University, let me first congratulate His Grace Dr. Powathil on the conferment of the Honorary Doctorate. Let us give a big clap to Dr. Powathil. I strongly feel that the Faculty of Theology of PAURASTYA VIDYAPITHAM, the Pontifical Orientation Institute of Religious Studies, has taken a right decision in conferring Honorary Doctorate to His Grace Mar Powathil. I understand that the Faculty of Theology carefully considered his contributions, his outstanding contributions to the field of liturgy, to the field of theology, to the field of spirituality, to the field of education, and to the field of ecumenism of the Eastern churches. I also congratulate His Grace, my Dr. Powathil, for his continuous struggle for the restoration of East Syriac liturgy of Syro Malabar Church and its complete identity as an individual church. I remember when I took charge as a Vice-Chancellor of Mahatma Gandhi University, my Dr. Powathil invited me one of the evenings, and we had a very good discussion, and he has made fantastic suggestions the way the university should move. I really appreciate his concern for higher education. Interestingly, this occasion also happens to be during his birthday. So on behalf of Mahatma Gandhi University, we wish him all the best and all success, and wish him belated birthday greetings. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sabu Thomas. Now, I invite the vibrant rector of St. Thomas Apostolic Seminary, Reverend Dr. Joy Ainiadan, to felicitate Archbishop Mar Joseph Powathil.
The glittering star of today, Archbishop Dr. Joseph Powathil, Your Beatitude, Your Eminence, dear relatives, friends, and critics of Archbishop Powathil. It is indeed a delightful coincidence that the conferral of the first honorary doctorate of PAURASTYA VIDYAPITHAM on Archbishop Mar Joseph Powathil takes place on the Indian Independence Day and on the solemnity of the Assumption of the Blessed Virgin Mary. It is undoubtedly the most appropriate day to honor the faithful son of the Syro Malabar Church, who ferociously fought against every form of servitude and fearlessly asserted the independent and autonomous status of the Syro Malabar Church. With the entire seminary community, I bow my head in deep appreciation for the marvelous contributions His Grace Mar Joseph Powathil has been rendering to our church for the past 4 decades. Hearty congratulations, Your Grace. Deeply inspired by the spirit of openness of the Second Vatican Council, the theologians of our church, led by late Cardinal Joseph Parekattil, were moving in the direction of liturgical renewal, giving great emphasis to adaptation and inculturation of our liturgical celebrations. It is at this stage that then young Bishop Mar Joseph Powathil came forward with a bold theological position that prior to the efforts of renewal, we must focus on restoration of the lost traditions of our church. Yes, with him, the pendulum began to swing in the opposite direction. Theologians of our church took up this new approach and made researches on the rich tradition of the Syro Malabar Church and came up with a number of scientific books and articles. The two horizons, the two theological challenges of our church, namely restoration and renewal, are there before us as the rich patrimony of the Syro Malabar Church. As a famous German hermeneutic thinker, Hans-Georg Gadamer would say, we attain knowledge not by the choice of one of the horizons, but by the fusion of horizons. Friends, as theologians and philosophers of today and tomorrow, it is our mission to merge the horizons and bring out a beautiful synthesis for the generations to come to celebrate their faith
with true devotion and passionate love towards our church. Once again, I appreciate the marvelous contributions of Archbishop Powathil to the church and society, and I offer my sincere gratitude and prayerful good wishes to the eternally vigilant shepherd of the people of God. Thank you. May God bless all of us.
Thank you, Father Rector. Now I call upon Reverend Father Bobby Mannaplakal, the Chief Editor of Deepika, for the felicitation.
Your Beatitude, Your Eminence, Your Graces, Your Excellencies, and dear friends. There are numerous areas of expertise and academics where Archbishop Powathil is admired by listeners and readers for his scholarship and contribution. Now I am standing here representing one of the oldest media organizations in the country, more especially in the south, that is Deepika newspaper. Our own Managing Director, Father Matthew Chandrakundayil, also is present here. Therefore, I am going to confine my brief remarks only to those things relating to the media and Dr. Powathil. My memories go back to my minor seminary days, where Bishop Powathil was the then Bishop of Kanjirappalli Diocese. He would come to the minor seminary once every week and spend the whole day there, interacting personally with the seminarians and also teaching them classes, at least for 2 hours every week. And his major focus would be the most important documents of the Second Vatican Council. I still remember his lessons and interpretations of the church documents on liturgy, on ecclesiology, and even more importantly and more relevantly now for me, the documents on media and social communication. I would say that Archbishop Powathil would be rated as the top person among the bishops and archbishops in the country today, who has the most conscious thoughts and awareness about the significance of media in evangelization. That's why during his tenure in Kanjirappalli, probably for the first time in Kerala anyway, he was there to establish a separate department for social communication and started a modern recording studio and started so many different art forms, including drama and music bands for evangelization purposes. While he moved back to Changanasheri as the Archbishop, he again was instrumental in starting the Media Village, St. Joseph's College of Communication, and so many other things, other institutions and endeavors. Coming to Deepika, being the first Malayalam daily established in 1887, he knew very well the significance of a media like Deepika. Even during the good times and bad, or troubled times, he was there as a great tower or fortress for Deepika. Even now, every so often, he will call and inquire how things are going, what you should be doing, and what you should not be doing. And I am sure, and you all are aware that the general public in Kerala, every so often or very often, waits eagerly to listen to what Archbishop Powathil has to say on certain issues. Issues like education, minority rights, ecumenism, and so forth. Therefore, on this occasion, I am joining all of you present here in congratulating him for accepting or receiving the most deserved crowning on the crown. When I say that, I don't think it was not mentioned here today, therefore I would go with that line. In a private conversation, Pope Benedict XVI once said, Archbishop Powathil is the crown of Syro Malabar Church. Now I would say that this crown has received another crown, that is crown on the crown. I would also like to congratulate